Welcome to our video about applying for an ICAPGen study group. I'm Lisa Stokes, the ICAPGen Commissioner in charge of the ICAPGen study groups. During this webinar, we will go over the who, what, where, when, and how of applying for the ICAPGen study groups. ICAPGen offers two study groups. We offer a level 1 and a level 2 and 3 study group. So we're going to start off by talking about level 1 and who the level 1 study groups are for and what an applicant needs to do to prepare. Applicants should be near the completion of the required research hours for accreditation. And applicants should be near completion of the research for at least one generation of their level 1 4th-generation project. But we would prefer if you have most of your research done. That allows you to have more options for which generation you work on in the study group. Applicants should have educational experience, such as formal schooling, online courses, study groups, institutes, conferences, things like that. And applicants should engage in self-directed education as well. So watching webinars, reading books, doing pro bono work, things like that would help you prepare. Remember that there's no right or wrong way to gain educational experience. Be sure to do what works for you. Applicants should have experience writing genealogy reports and have experience analyzing and correlating sources, information, and evidence. And applicants should be able to demonstrate sound methodology skills. Methodology just means that your research is on par and that you know where you need to go, what record types are important for your region and for the problem that you're trying to solve. What does a level 1 curriculum cover? During the study groups, applicants will review the overall ICAPGen requirements for accreditation. They will review requirements for the level 1 4th-generation project. During the study groups, applicants will work on one generation of their level 1 4th-generation project, and they will fine-tune analysis and correlation skills. Applicants will also fine-tune their proofwriting skills. They will give and receive writing and methodology feedback with their study group peers, and they will receive one-on-one mentoring from AG professionals and level 1 mentors. What is the workload? Applicants should expect to spend 6 to 18 hours per week completing assignments. When and where are the study groups held? The study group meetings for level 1 start in January, and then another group starts in July. And there are 7 meetings over an 18-week period. That gives you plenty of time in between the weeks to work on your assignments and do your peer reviews. Level 1 study group meetings are held at 6 p.m. Mountain Time over Zoom, and we hold them on Thursdays for level 1. So how do you apply for a level 1 study group? Step 1 is to watch the ICAPGen YouTube videos, and 3 specific ones we'd like you to watch are benefits of accreditation, accreditation readiness, and the level 1 4th-generation project. Step 2 is to email your name, your accreditation region, and your desired study group session to studygroup@icapgen.org. Step 3 is to review the application instructions that will be sent by the email coordinator, and then evaluate if you are ready to apply. And also study the resources that are in the readiness material folder sent by the email coordinator. Step 4 is to submit the Google form using the link that was sent to you. And be prepared to summarize your genealogical experience and your genealogical education. You don't need to have every suggested genealogical experience, but you do need to show that you've spent sufficient time and energy working on educational pursuits. Self-driven education, such as attending conferences and institutes, watching webinars, reading books, is acceptable, but it must be thorough and well-rounded. For example, if all you do is watch webinars and you haven't read books, or you haven't attended any institutes or conferences, your educational experience might not be very well-rounded. Step 5 in the application process is to send your name, your accreditation region, and all of your application materials to studygroup@icapgen.org. And by application materials, we are requiring a research report proof from your project that is 3 to 5 pages long, and an outline of your 4-generation project. I will go over those again in a few minutes. The application deadline for a level 1 is June 1st for the summer group, and the summer group runs July through November. And then November 1st is the deadline for the winter group, which runs January through May. As for when you can turn in an application, even though the deadline is June 1st and November 1st, you can turn an application in any time before that. The applicant panel will start reviewing those as soon as they come in. The benefit to submitting your application early is that if there's some things we need you to work on, you'll have time to work on those and you can submit a readiness assignment, which I'll talk about again in a few minutes. So let's go over choosing a report for your application. We would like you to submit a report that shows us your skill level. So we would like the report to be from your 4-generation report. And we would like it to demonstrate solid writing skills. And we would like it to show a generational linkage rather than a family chronology. So let's go over some tips for submitting a good report for your application. Our applicant panels put together a list of characteristics of a great report. These characteristics are at the level that you need to be entering the study group, not necessarily at the level of a final 4-generation project. But we do have these benchmarks we would like you to meet. So, characteristics of a great report. We'd like you to submit a report that includes a clear objective and that the report stays focused on that objective throughout. And we'd like a report that is comprised of a research report, not a family narrative or a family story or a travelogue of the research. So some more characteristics of a great report are that it includes clearly stated conclusions based only on facts discussed in the report. So this means that there's no facts stated without evidence and citation support. We'd like to see a report that presents arguments logically, and we'd like you to build toward a conclusion so that a non-genealogist can understand it. We'd also like to see a report that shows professionalism by including proper grammar, punctuation, and spelling. We'd like a report that easily identifies sections such as the objective, the subsections, the conclusion. And we'd also like to see a logical flow of thought. And transitional statements are often very helpful. So this would include a topic sentence and a concluding sentence for each section or paragraph. We'd also like to see a report that uses reliable sources to support the evidence of all the facts. So we'd like to see you use original sources over derivatives. We'd like to see a report that explains and resolves conflicting evidence with analysis and correlation. The report should include citations for each information item. So we want it to include complete information needed to quickly identify and locate that source. And we'd like to see the source citations use a consistent style and consistent punctuation. So now we're going to cover the characteristics of a great outline. The outline should be well organized, professional, and easy to read. And the outline should cover at least one generational link from the level 1 report. We would prefer you to have all 4 generations outlined, but at the bare minimum, at least one generation. We'd also like to see an outline that shows sufficient research to make solid conclusions. and an outline that uses logical organization to show proof of relationships and events. We'd also like to see an outline that includes repositories other than Family Search and Ancestry, and an outline that relies on original records instead of indexes. We'd also like to see the use of offline records, and we'd like to see an outline that uses sources from the Regional Resources document. You can find that at the ICAPGen.org website. So we use an evaluation form when your application comes in, and the panel will check items that were accomplished, and items that weren't will be left blank. And so we're going to talk about this more in a minute, but this is what the evaluation form looks like. The applicant panel is looking for an application that demonstrates high intermediate to advanced writing skills, a candidate that has the ability to analyze and correlate genealogical sources, information, and evidence, and they're looking for sound methodology. They're also looking for the ability to create professional and consistent citations, and that thorough research in original documents was accomplished. So after your report has been reviewed by the applicant panel, you'll receive your filled out evaluation form. We'd like you to look at this as an opportunity to acquire greater details about expectations for a level 1 report, to receive mentor evaluation of methodology that you used in your outline, and to receive feedback on a writing sample from your report. The evaluation form is 3 pages long. This is what it looks like. Here it is in a little bit closer detail. This is the outline section and the check marks that the applicant panel will work on. Remember that the email coordinator will send you a blank form to use as a rubric. It will come with your application materials. So make sure to use that and to look at that to verify you've met all of the requirements. So there are some more videos that we'd like you to watch, especially if you struggle with any of the criteria that we're looking for. And these are found at the ICAPGen YouTube channel, and they'll help you prepare your application for the study group. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. We do have a participant limit. The level 1 study groups are capped at 12 participants. And if multiple applicants show equal readiness, the date of their submission of the accepted report will be used to determine which of the 2 would get into the study group. So basically view this as a first come, first served basis. Our goal is to guide applicants towards successful accreditation. If the applicant panel sees needed readiness improvement, they will recommend further study. So to help you with this, we've put together resources in a folder called Readiness Materials. And this folder was sent to you when you asked for an application from our email coordinator. If you need to see that again, please request that at studygroup@icapgen.org. If the applicant panel feels that you're close to being ready, but still need a little bit more work, they will assign a readiness assignment that's designed to help you acquire the specific skills you need to be successful. Once the readiness assignment is approved, applicants will be accepted or put on a waiting list if there's not room, and they will be the first to be accepted into the next group. Once you've been accepted into the study group, you will pay the fees through the ICAPGen website, and the fee for a level 1 study group is $200. Let's talk about the level 2 and 3 study group. So who is eligible to participate in a level 2 and 3 study group? The requirements to apply are that you've completed a level 1 study group and you've submitted a level 1 project. It doesn't have to be graded yet, as long as you've submitted it. Or the second option is that you've passed level 1 testing. We've had several people over the years who did not take a level 1 study group participate in level 2 and 3 study groups once they passed their level 1. So what will participants learn in a level 2 and 3 study group? They will learn level 2 and 3 requirements. They will start building a research reference guide. They will participate in level 2 and 3 practice activities, including a level 3 practice test that we give them. And they will receive instruction and feedback from accredited genealogist mentors. So when and where are the level 2 and 3 study groups held? The level 2 and 3 groups start in April and September, and there are 5 meetings over 9 weeks. The study group meetings are at 6 p.m. Mountain Time over Zoom. They're held on Wednesdays, and you should expect to spend 6 to 12 hours per week completing the assignments. To apply, send your name, accreditation region, and your level 1 status to studygroup@icapgen.org. The application deadlines for a level 2 and 3 study group are March 15th for the spring group, which runs April through June, and September 1st for the fall group that runs September through November. The reason we went with the 15th here is we tend to get a lot of people from Roots Tech. That usually is that first week in March. So we've moved this deadline back a little bit to give a little bit more time for people to apply. Study groups are capped at 12 participants, and if multiple applications show equal readiness, meaning that they've passed level 1 or they've turned in their level 1 project and taken the study group, then the dates of the application email will be used to determine who will be accepted in if we have more than 12 people. So thank you for joining me for this video. If you have any questions, please direct them to studygroup@icapgen.org. Thank you.